Hey everybody, what's going on? It's me, Oscar Camejo, and this is Journey Journal. It is May 1st, 2022. Well, I wanted to welcome everybody to this episode. It's been a great journey so far, not only with my personal journey of reversing and beating type 2 diabetes, but also helping people along the way to achieve results in their life, whether it's weight loss, reversing type 2 diabetes, or just really transforming their life. That's what this podcast and this format is all about. So for those of you all who are new to my podcast, I wanted to make sure you understand this format. So my regular podcast, of course, is called the Beating Diabetes Podcast. This is called the Journey Journal. It's my personal journey along the way. I'll share what I did in the past and what I do currently as a highlight and encouragement, so you will see what are some practical things that I do on a day-to-day basis and a weekly basis just to maintain the lifestyle that I live. Because, I meet a lot of people, strangers at the store, at the gym, and we get to talking. And one of the number one things they want to find out once they've learned that I've reversed type 2 diabetes is, hey, what did you do? What did you do? How did you do it? What are you eating? How are you living? So this is my way of documenting in this format, in a digital format, exactly what I do and what I've done, and help you kind of catch up to understanding who I am, what I'm all about, and so forth. Now, my regular Beating Diabetes podcast, that's a video version. I also strip out the audio as well. So I provide through my YouTube channel a video version of it, the entire episode, so you can see that and enjoy that. Some people have the time to sit down and watch a whole video, so I give them that opportunity. But I also have the audio only version of the Beating Diabetes podcast. Both of those actually usually get posted and published on Wednesday of each week. Now, this Journey Journal, again, as I've said before, is only an audio version. So this audio version, I usually record on Sundays. Journey Journal is a look back at how my week went. I normally record on Sundays, so let's jump right in. About my week, I actually had a typical great week. And normally my weeks are really good. I have ups and downs like some of us do, like most humans do. We're not perfect, but we're striving towards perfection, hopefully. My work week was typical. It was a productive week, very busy. I'm in the marketing and communication space in the educational sector. So it's a lot of work, especially coming towards the end of the school year. And it's been a great week. So other than that, outside of what I do for my 9 to 5, I was able to do something that I really like, and that's to help people. People have been hearing about my journey of weight loss and beating diabetes. So last week, I actually got a couple of calls from some people who I haven't heard from in a long time. Of course, this was in 2 separate occasions, but both had been seeing my transformation unfold through social media and just wanted to reach out because, they were going through some health challenges. And mind you, these people don't even know each other, but they were going through some health challenges, some personal issues as well that affected their health. And so they wanted to talk. So I was able to kind of walk them through and just hear them out. I believe I'm a good listener. I've been given the gift of listening, I guess, and comfort and encouraging people. So I try to use that on a regular basis. So it was really good to catch up, of course, with these friends at different times and just really share with them some really helpful information, I believe, to help them to navigate their current situations. And that's fulfilling to me. And then I wrapped up the week with actually having a face-to-face with a gentleman who I just met recently. When I say recent, I mean over the last couple of years or so. Just kind of talk through a plan to really help him to get on track with his health and weight loss and so forth. So that was really fulfilling, man, to sit down and just map out a plan. When I was going through my health challenges, I wish I had someone who could, just hear me out, and not throw out a bunch of, hey, take this diet and do this particular thing, but just kind of hear me out. So I wanted to be that type of friend to this gentleman and just hear him out and share my story. He wanted to know my story more in depth. So I was able to do that and give him some practical steps to take, which is what I did for myself. I didn't go on any special diet, none of that stuff. In any case, that was my week in terms of, work and helping people. Of course, I film TikTok videos every day. So the Journey Journal, as I mentioned before, is my life 1 week ago. I guess that's a good way to look at it. And some practical things that I've done to not only reverse type 2 diabetes, but maintain a lifestyle. I think that's very important to do, is to live a life of maintenance, of making sure that we don't go backwards. So Sunday of last week, I started off in terms of my weight. Now, here's the thing. When I do these journey journals, I talk about my weight. I talk about food. I talk about tips and things that I do on a regular basis to maintain this lifestyle. So that's very important. So that's kind of going to be the format every week. So in terms of my weight, and the reason why I talk about weight, I know some people say, yeah, don't pay attention to the scale. Some people say do. I'm a big proponent of knowing where I am so I can know where I'm going. So I literally weigh myself every morning after I relieve myself, if you know what I mean. And I recommend that you do that too, and you track it. And we're going to talk about tracking our progress a little bit later. But in terms of my weight, I started last Sunday at 190.7 pounds. And I remember when I was probably 225, 220, I had said, my next weight goal is going to be 200 pounds. And when I reached 200 pounds, I was like, wow, it just happened. Not that it just happened, but when it happened, it dawned on me that, hey, I had reached that goal, but I'm glad I was tracking it all the way. So last Sunday, I was at 190. So my goal when I was 200 pounds was to make it to 190. And I realized last Sunday I was there that, of course, I had set my goal to 185 at some point. And as of yesterday, which is Saturday, April 30th, my ending weight, when I say ending weight, that's end of the week weight, was 185.6 pounds, everybody. So now that may seem like, wow, man, he's just dropping weight like really fast, but I don't want us to get hung up on how quickly I'm losing weight, because when it comes to weight, there's a couple of things that we need to pay attention to. Now, my body fat is at 11.9 as of yesterday. Now, for me, that's big. Because you got to understand, I learned a while ago the difference between the weight and composition and density of fat versus the density and composition of muscle. Now, what do I mean by that? So the reason why I pay attention to fat versus muscle, so when it comes to losing weight, I always keep that in mind, that I am focused on losing fat, like the visceral fat around the organs, even the subcutaneous fat. That's the fat that's just below the skin. That's what I'm focused on burning and losing. Now, muscle, I definitely don't want to lose muscle. I don't want to also become this huge bodybuilder, but I want to maintain my strength. I want to build strength. So when it comes to losing weight, I focus on fat loss. Because remember, your body weight is made up of your bones, your organs, even the fat that's in your body. So what we're wanting to focus in on, again, is the fat loss, not just weight loss. So when I meet people or when people contact me on social media after watching my TikTok videos or Instagram posts or Facebook, they want to know, okay, what is it that you're doing? What is it that you're eating? What is your exercise life like? So I try to stay away from specifics of exactly what I eat, because some people may think, okay, well, if I do the exact same thing, I'm going to get those exact type of results. That's unrealistic because every body is different. Literally, our bodies are different. But, I do let people know in general, my breakfast, I make a homemade breakfast smoothie that includes veggies, fruits, protein powder, omega-3 flax seeds for fiber and obviously for nutrition. I include sometimes dry steel oats instead of the regular rolled oats. And there's a difference between the two there. I won't go into it here. As far as my liquid base, I stick with the 0 sugar coconut almond milk. And I love it. It tastes great. I don't have to add sugar to it. I let the fruit be the sweetener, and I make sure I get all my nutrients from my veggies and so forth, and including the protein powder. Now, when it comes to lunch, if I don't have leftovers from the night before, I stick to a chicken salad or a Mediterranean dish from a local place that I go to. I make sure that it's loaded with roasted vegetables, no matter what I eat. And then my protein, which is, again, usually chicken. Sometimes I may do shrimp during lunch, but those are the things that I stick to for lunch. In terms of dinner, of course, I load up on veggies. I cook at least 5 times a week, people. I use an air fryer for my protein, which is either salmon or chicken, or shrimp for dinner, but I load up on my veggies, which usually includes spinach, broccoli, peppers, and some other stuff that I really like. And in terms of starches, I don't eat a lot of starch during the week, especially not for dinner. I don't want the starches to be in my system at night. So I stay away from starches. If I do any starches, I may do like sweet potato fries, which are not actually fried, but I roast those as well. But that's not common for me. But what's most important is how I eat to control my glucose spikes. And what I mean by that is, every time we eat, our food raises our blood sugar to a degree depending on what we put in our body. And when I say sugars, I'm really talking about glucose. And I'm not going to spend too much time in this episode to really talk about sugar. I do have an episode of the Beating Diabetes podcast that I am going to go in depth on sugar and glucose. But what happens is a lot of us, we have cravings, and we may wake up with cravings. We have cravings throughout the day. We have cravings after lunch. We have cravings before dinner, after dinner, and we don't realize it's because of our glucose intake or our sugar intake, and we go up and down, up and down, up and down. And the goal is to not have these high sugar spikes throughout the day, because a lot of times, let's say you go to your local fast food place in the morning to grab a chicken biscuit with egg and cheese and bacon, and you also have a sugary drink, let's say coffee with it, or an orange juice or an apple juice or whatever. That's going to spike your blood sugar, your glucose levels high. Let's just say it's going to spike it to a high degree, and then it's going to crash at some point, right? It's going to really dip low. And then that's when you start feeling hungry. You may feel sluggish later on in mid-morning. And typically what some people do is grab another soda and some chips while they're at work, or if they're working from home, and they just start snacking. Then by lunchtime, they eat something else that raises their glucose. So it's just this up and down roller coaster. And before you know it, you've consumed all of these unnecessary calories, all these unnecessary amounts of sugar in your system, and your body's trying to produce its own insulin to try to bring those levels down. And it becomes just this roller coaster ride. So I want to share with you what I've been focusing on. So I want to share with you how I eat, not necessarily what I eat, but with my meals that consist of actual food, not a smoothie or anything of that nature. I have my veggies, proteins, and starch. Like I said, if I do have a starch, and occasionally, let's say if I do a sweet food, that's eaten in a specific order. All this food is eaten in a specific order. And this is something that I've learned and I've been implementing in my life, and I'm seeing results. So let's say you're at lunch or dinner. Let's say you have your plate. It has your vegetables, your protein, and a starch on it. Those three things. So this is what I recommend. Eat your veggies first, then your protein, whether it's chicken, fish, or beef, or turkey, eat that second. Then if, let's say, you have some potatoes or some other starch on your plate, eat that third. What you don't want, let's say if you also have rice as a starch, what you don't want to do is eat the starchy food first, then eat your protein, and then eat your vegetables, or mix it all in and just eat without understanding what that food is doing to your body. So now the reason why you want to eat the veggies first is because veggies naturally, as it hits your stomach and goes into your intestines, in your stomach, it creates this mush, if you will, and it coats the inside of your stomach. Next, when you eat your protein, like your chicken, fish, or what have you, your turkey, your body is going to digest all of that and so forth. So it's going through your metabolic process, right, of breaking down that food. What you don't want is by the time you get to your starches, let's say if you ate your starches first, those starches, like your potatoes, those turn into glucose and is getting into your system very quickly, into your blood system very quickly, and then just starts going throughout your body and so forth. So the reason why you want to eat the veggies first, because again, like I said, it creates this coating around your stomach, within your stomach. And it helps to slow that seeping of glucose, if you will, into your bloodstream. So you want to slow that process down so that you don't have this quick spike. And it actually reduces the height of your spike. So just keep that in mind, and I'll go into more detail, but just try that. It's been working for me. Even though I reverse type 2 diabetes, I still check my blood sugar, before I eat, after I eat as well, so I can have some recorded proof of how this works. And then when it comes to sweets, that cake or something, even if it's a piece of fruit, I like to eat that last. I don't eat cake like I used to. And let's say if you're at an office party and there's going to be cake there or even donuts or just something sweet, just don't eat it first. When you're having your lunch or afternoon dinner, when you get home, eat the sweets last, even the fruit, eat it last. And then you'll start seeing some results. Again, just start tracking it. The goal is to curve that glucose spike so that you don't have these high spikes. Now, after every meal, I take at least a 10-minute walk or do some type of movement where it could be standing up. You can be doing some air squats. You could do some wall push-ups, take a walk around the parking lot at work or at home, just go outside, walk up and down the street for a little bit, for about 10 minutes, get those legs moving. Because, when your body starts to digest food, blood is doing its thing to digest that food. Your digestive system starts kicking in. So a lot of times people feel sluggish. That's why at 2 p.m. you feel really sluggish after lunch when you're at work and you're like about to fall asleep at work at your desk, is because your digestive system kicked in to tend to all that food you ate and process the glucose and all that stuff. So what you want to do is go for a 10-minute walk or do some type of exercise that's going to help you out. Now, in terms of exercise, let's switch gears. So my workout this past week, it consisted of 4 rigorous days in the gym, which is kind of typical for me, Monday through Friday. I may do a 5th day. I typically do 5 days, but this week, I did have a meeting on Tuesday evening, so I didn't get a chance to work out in the gym, but I did do some form of exercise at home that evening. But as far as my rigorous workout in the gym, that was 4 days. Now on Saturday, I actually went for a 3.5-mile hike. That was fun. I go to a couple of places around where I live, and even I don't mind traveling to go hiking. I just love the outdoors. It helps to clear the mind. I get to think and plan, and sometimes just relax the mind from, the busy day to day. So not only did I go hiking on Saturday, what was included in the hike as well was zip lining. So if you've ever been zip lining is where you get put up in this harness and you climb up in these trees or in towers, and literally they hook you to this zip line, this wire, this cable, this metal cable, steel cable, whatever it's made out of. And you literally are zipping through the air from one tree station to the next. It was so much fun. And you're above ground, like, I don't know, sometimes 50 feet in the air, 100 feet in the air, 600 feet in the air. It was fun. And just being out there in the woods, I didn't go with a group, went by myself. But it was great. I got to meet some people in the group that I was in, and it was extreme. They call it the Extreme zip line tour at a place called Banning Mills out in Whitesburg. I did post some pictures on social media if you ever want to go and check that out. But that was really good. I really had fun. I do encourage people to get out and be active and just have fun, man. Really, really just have fun. So before I wrap this up, I do want to take a quick break to share something with you. So the Beating Diabetes podcast, episode 2, is going to be published this Wednesday morning, early morning on Wednesday. That one, I get very, very personal in it. Just to give you a little backstory about myself, you're going to learn about me, learn about some of the issues that I was going through when I first learned about my type 2 diabetes, what was happening personally. And the name of that episode is called The Walrus and the Ring. That's all I'm going to say about that one. You definitely want to check it out. So if you hadn't already listened to episode 1, go back and listen to that first. That kind of lays a foundation. Then go and listen to episode 2, which comes out this Wednesday. And also follow me on TikTok. You can easily find me as Oscar Camejo. And I really appreciate the likes and follows and comments. And I also get like show ideas through the comments and the interaction on TikTok. Now, I want to give you guys a couple of tips as you track your journey, because I think it's really important that we're able to look back and say, okay, this is exactly what I did, and this is how I did it. This is where I messed up. This is where I got back up and kept going. You know, one of my catchphrases or mottos is stay focused. I tell people to stay focused, keep moving, never go back, you know, and to trust God. So in order to know where you're going, you have to know where you are. So I think at every point in our life, we should track our progress. That's what I did. Even when I didn't like how I looked in the mirror, I took pictures. Even though I didn't like how much I weighed myself. That was very important because now I have actual documentation. I have an entire archive that I can show people. So when I sit down to help people who are just starting their journey, maybe they just found out that they have type 2 diabetes, I have something that I can show them, some concrete information that I can show them. So here's some things I want you to start tracking if you're not already doing it. Take pictures of yourself, front, side, back, you know, no clothes on, maybe in your workout gear, just kind of show where you are now. And it's for you mainly, so you can track it. Number 2, get your body measurements done. Go to your local gym or go to your doctor's office or work with your personal trainer if you have one, so they can take your body measurements. You want to know not only how much you weigh, but what is your body mass index? What is your percentage of body fat and so forth, so that you can start setting realistic small goals that as you achieve them, you go and start adding more and more to your goal accomplishment list, and you can really reward yourself for your progress. Track your food. What are you eating on a regular basis? What have you been eating? What have you given up? You know, maybe you're drinking soda every day and you want to know, okay, well, what is my routine? What are my habits when it comes to drinking soda? Well, do you drink a soda and coffee in the morning and for lunch and dinner and all that stuff? I had to do the same thing because I was stopping at this popular place to get a smoothie every morning. And I realized not only am I spending all this money, but it's not helping me in my weight loss journey. So I can track the last day I had a smoothie from that place. I have it all tracked. I recommend using apps. You know, some people like to write stuff down in a journal. You know, it's hard for me to keep up with a physical journal, but I have an app that I can track, whether it's my health, my fitness, what I'm eating, just everything. So I recommend that you use apps. Now I'm going to give you the apps that I use. I'm not saying you have to use these apps. These are not sponsors. These companies are not sponsored advertisers, none of that. This is just what I use. So the health app, if you have an iPhone, now I'm an iPhone person, I'm an iOS person. I just love their products. And for you may be on Android, so I can't necessarily speak to Android for each of these. I'm just telling you what I use, but maybe you can find something equivalent on your platform. I use the health app on iPhone. That helps me to track everything concerning my health, from heart rate to blood pressure. I can put that in there. It tracks my steps. my activity, and so forth. It also connects to another app that I use that feeds into the health app, and that is the Waze app. It's WYZE app. I have a digital scale. So my digital scale, it actually records my weight, my body fat, muscle mass, etc., and it feeds that information into my health app. So those two talk to each other. So I don't have to manually plug things in. So I really like that one. That's free. So that app is free. And by the way, the health app is free as well. It comes with your iPhone. Now, Apple Fitness, that is another free app that comes with your iPhone. So I love that one because I get to track, my steps. I get to track my activity. I get to track all kinds of stuff. So I really, really like the Apple Fitness app because obviously I also have an Apple Watch. So those two working together, I can know how many calories I've burned for the day, how long I've been exercising, how many hours I've been standing versus sitting. My workouts even get fed into the app, how much time am I taking to move, my distance, just everything, my cardio fitness, my walking pace, all of that gets fed into the Apple Fitness app. Now, through your health insurance, they may also have incentives for you to live a fit lifestyle and be healthy. So I know with me, I'm with Aetna Health Insurance, and they have an app called Attain. It's free. And man, it automatically keeps up with my exercise. It knows how long I've been exercising. It gives me challenges that I can accomplish. So the main thing with that one is I earn points. So I can redeem those points for gift cards, or even if I want to upgrade and buy a new Apple Watch. So look at that. It's a free app. It tracks all what you're doing. It collects points, and it rewards you for living a healthy lifestyle. So I recommend that. But again, check with your insurance company, see what they have. Now, another app that I use is called LifeSum. That's LIFESUM. There's a free version, but of course you can upgrade if you want. I've not upgraded. I stick with the free version. I'm still testing it out. I've had it for a while now and seeing if it's worth me upgrading. But you can track your food, your water intake, your calories. They have recipes in there. They have recommended plans. If you want to do, let's say, intermittent fasting, they have a plan for that. If you're into keto, they have that as well. But I like the LifeSum app because it's another level of accountability where I can just keep track. Now, these two final apps that I'm going to tell you guys about really have been a game changer for me. The first one being the Nike Training Club. Now, I'm a Puma guy. I love Puma. I love everything about Puma. They also have a Puma app, but I like this Nike Training Club app because it is 100% free. When I started my physical fitness journey back in June 2021, I have the actual workout that I did from that day up until now. And they have different trainers, different experts that give you tips. They have different program styles in there. And I tell you, and I've been telling a lot of people about this app. There's a trainer, a Nike master trainer. His name is Joe Holder. Shout out to Joe Holder. I follow him on social media as well. I mean, this guy, his work is dynamic. So I first heard about him through this Nike training app. And if you're like me, I don't like those walkthrough training videos where you're watching a YouTube video and you have to keep up with the video. I don't like those because I feel rushed when I'm doing it. I don't feel like I'm actually learning something. I'm just going through the motions. But this program by Joe Holder is called a whiteboard format, which literally, if you've been to a gym before, is like when they put the words and the workouts on the gym on the whiteboard and they tell you do X amount of burpees or X amount of squats and so forth. And they have the time durations or the number of sets and number of rounds, all of that. Me, I can look at a board. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Okay, boom. And I go and do it. So that's what this is like. But not only that, Joe actually has videos for each drill. So you know exactly how to do it. He demonstrates it. It's very, very simple, very, very easy to understand and follow. So I like Joe's program. He has a 4-week and an 8-week one. I think there's a 4-week, a 6-week, and an 8-week. Now, I've done all of his programs at least 3 or 4 times. So I've experienced dramatic results. I know I'm going on and on about this, but I can't talk about it enough. He specializes in conditioning and strength. There's plyometric activity. He talks a lot about flexibility. He talks about nutrition. And he has articles that he posts about all of this stuff. So I really like his program has really been a game changer for me. So again, shout out to Joe Holder and the Ocho system. Ryan Flattery, he's another Nike master trainer, also a previous athlete, and he focuses on sports performance and strength. So when you're talking about building muscle, getting stronger, and being active, his is a very, very good program to follow. I want to say it's a 8-week program or a 6-week program. I've done his twice when I wanted to build and maintain muscle. I mean, his is very, very easy to follow, easy to keep up with. So I do recommend that one as well. And the last app I want to talk about when you want to focus on abs. Me, I've never had a 6-pack until now. I'm 49 now. So I started following Jeff Cavalier on YouTube, and Jeff Cavalier has this app called Athlean X Abs, and I'm telling you, now it's brutal. You got to be ready for it. It's not a walk in the park. He does have a free version of it. You know, the trial ends, I think, after 1 week or so, or something like that, and then you pay like $2 or $3, and then you have the app. So I like his progression. He helps you to target muscles. So those are the practical tips that I want you to consider as you're tracking your personal journey towards weight loss and reversing and beating type 2 diabetes. Again, these are my recommendations. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a physical trainer. I'm not an exercise physiologist. I'm a guy who used to be 268 pounds. And as of today, I am 185 and I feel healthy. I feel strong. I am off insulin, and losing the weight was an important part along that journey. So my final thoughts as we wrap up this week's episode of the Journey Journal. Again, document your progress, learn about yourself, set realistic goals and tackle them. Don't give up on your training and development. You know, we're not quitters. We keep going. We keep moving. And put your hard work to test. And put your hard work to the test. Challenge yourself to do better, to be a better version of yourself. I know you can do it. Look at ways to do more than you did before. When you're in the gym, if 5 push-ups was a challenge before, challenge yourself to now do 6 or 7. So challenge yourself, push harder, go for that extra rep, muster the strength in you to do the extra half a mile, the extra quarter mile. Just keep yourself active, keep yourself moving. So lastly, surround yourself with a team of people who will build you up. Because let's be honest, people, we don't want to go through life alone. We don't want to go through life handling a lot of these pressures by ourselves. And so it's good to have a circle of influence of people that really have our best interests in mind. As you evaluate your surroundings, evaluating your circle, take a look at the people around you. Are they there to support you or tear you down? And if you have to make some adjustments, you have to make the adjustments. So that's going to be it, folks. I want you to have a great week. Like I always tell you, stay focused, keep moving, never go back, trust God. I believe in you. You got this.